one of the things they obsess over Trump on is his criticisms, right? Like what he says about people. And when we were first getting to know Trump in a political way, I understood that. I mean, as you know, I asked him a tough debate question about things he said about women in particular. And I mean, now I just think we're used to it. This is what Trump does. He talks like that. He means to offend, incite, and not in a legal sense, but like sort of, get people talking about him. And especially if you're an enemy, a political enemy, a media enemy, he doesn't pussyfoot around. Like he'll come after you. But he is very quick to bury the hatchet too, as you saw in those remarks we just heard from him, right? Like immediately when DeSantis endorsed him, he stood down on DeSantis. And, it might fire up again if DeSantis says something mean. Like you can take it to the bank. Trump, if you say something about him that he doesn't like, he hits you. But then he's quick to turn the page. Like that is to his credit. But you're only allowed to get away with that kind of behavior if you're a Democrat, you see. Because what we're getting now is takes like this, hot takes like this one from this MSNBC executive producer. Ron DeSantis just endorsed the man who mocked, attacked, and belittled him for months on end. Okay. It wasn't so long ago that I remember the now sitting vice president doing her own bit of a 180 MSNBC. Watch.
I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden. I do not believe you are a racist, but I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me. I want Joe Biden to be the next president of the United States. I believe in Joe Biden. I believe in his perspective. We did it, Joe. You're going to be the next president of the United States.
That's brutal. Whoever edited that and adding, we did it, Joe. Oh, that is beautiful.
That was Eduardo, part of our team. I love it. It's absurd. Look, the point is, this is what they do. They always reverse themselves. They get behind the party because they hate the real enemy, politically speaking, more than they hate the primary enemy, right? The guy they got to beat to get the nomination. It's just like, they pretend shock and disgust at DeSantis now endorsing the man who ridiculed him is so phony.
Think about what Hillary Clinton said about Bernie Sanders. I mean, it's such an obvious, easy example. Kamala Harris, such an obvious, easy example. It just doesn't even register because history before Trump is wiped clean in their minds. He is the worst ever, most unprecedented. So everything around him has to be unprecedented. It's just ridiculous.
Yep. Eliana, with Trump, they just can't, they'll hold on to every last word he ever said and use it against anybody who says something nice about him. I mean, I can speak to this personally. I get some morons on Twitter who are like, he said terrible things about you. How can you cover him this way? It's like, hello, because news note to journalists, I don't make my coverage about myself. When I'm trying to cover the presidential race, I try not to make it all about me and my interactions or my personal feelings about the candidate. Stop being such an idiot, and maybe your coverage would get better too. Go ahead, Eliana.
Yeah, it's called professionalism. One minor point about Trump and the primary and voters' interest in an alternative, I think part of the disappearing interest in an alternative to Trump had to do with Joe Biden's increasing weakness in the polls. I think part of the argument that the Trump challengers had were the general election polls that showed Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley beating Biden and Trump losing. But as Biden got weaker, all the Republican challengers were showed to be able to beat Joe Biden by differing margins. And as a result, the Ron DeSantis of the world, the Nikki Haley's of the world were not able to go out on the campaign trail and say, you're going to risk losing to Joe Biden, because Trump was running ahead of Biden as well. And I think that was really damaging to the challengers' campaigns as Biden got weaker and weaker in the polls.
That's such a good point. I completely agree with that. And Biden just kept spiraling the drain, which he continues to do. And I think about, yes, Trump has said nasty things about people. He's not a particularly nice enemy, right, to have. Try being on the opposite side of Joe Biden. You get audited, right? I mean, I'm sorry. There's no proof that he's auditing Clay Travis, because Clay is apparently a recent Republican. I didn't know that Clay used to be a Democrat and has voted Democrat for almost but he says this himself. Now suddenly, the first couple cycles where he's a Republican, he's getting audited. Matt Taibbi, suddenly the IRS is coming after him, knocking on his front door. James O'Keefe does a story or considers doing a story on the Ashley Biden diary. The FBI is at his front door. Not to mention the silencing that the Biden administration has done of people like Dr. Jay Bhattacharya and Alex Berenson, working with X, try to silence critics who push back on COVID vaccines. I'd rather be called a nasty name. The Megyn Kelly Show is supported by Grand Canyon University. Founded in 1949, GCU is a private Christian university that's dedicated to delivering an affordable and transformative higher education. Their vibrant campus is located in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, and according to niche.com, it's ranked a top 25 best campus in the country. Look at it there. As of June 2023, GCU offers 330 academic programs with over 270 online, allowing you the freedom to earn your degree on your time from wherever you are. At GCU, your degree, whether it's a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate, integrates the free market system and a welcoming Christian worldview. Learn more about GCU's programs, competitive tuition rates, and scholarship offers from your university counselor. They are part of the supportive graduation team who takes a personalized approach to helping you achieve your academic goals, walking alongside you every step of the way. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. For more info or to enroll, visit gcu.edu. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.